Due to popular demand, let's talk about the NS timetable. Uh, I've received a lot of questions here, so this is quite confusing, and I truly understand. I've been there. So now let's see how we can discuss it easily. So now, the timetable shows you everything. It shows you the lectures. It shows you the labs. It shows you the tutorials. It also shows you the math clinics. Yeah, so to start with the frequently asked questions, you have already observed that when you look at the timetable which has been shared, the lectures, the venues are indicated. Will you be learning in multipurpose hall, which is up school? Will you be learning in new conference hall, which is down school? Will you be learning in Chalavesa hall, which is up school at the library? All these venues, they are there on the timetable. So the lectures, you now know already that you have group A, group B, group C. So the entire lecture should have a big venue. And then for the labs, you understand the labs, they are labs at school. So you know if it's a chemistry lab, you'll be having a lab there. Yeah, so let's talk about something interesting, tutorials. Yeah, so before we even break down this, you're already wondering like, there are venues here, but what about tutorials? Tutorials, there are no venues. So you have to understand that there are a lot of tutorial groups, about 50 TGs. There can even be more when there's a second list for health B. Yeah, around this number of tutorials. So now, they can't put venues for tutorial groups because there are a lot. So now if they can't put venues, what happens? What's next? Are they okay? So now, for the tutorial groups, what you have to understand is tutorials happen at the down school SSS classes. In those classes, down school, yeah, that's what tutorials happen. Or they happen up school at the G classes. So up school have G classes and F classes. So this is ground floor, the classes which are just down. This is first floor, the classes which are there on top when you climb the stairs. So this is what tutorials happen from. So now, the venues are not indicated because these same classes, by the way, do you know what SSS means? This is School of Social Science. So these classes, they are not yours as NS students. NS students, you occupy those which I mentioned, multipurpose hall, new conference hall, Chalavesa hall, because you are a lot. Majority of, actually all the lectures happen in those big venues. For tutorials, you just have to look. So like the SS classes are not your classes, but you get to use them. And also the G classes, there are people doing economics, people doing law, all these other programs. They get to use these. The same way your lectures are showing on the timetable, that's the same way the lectures of these other programs are showing on their timetable. So now what happens is this. How will you be having your tutorials? So in your specific tutorial group, you are going to have someone who is called the TG rep. So it will be the duty of this guy to look for you a venue. So the tutorial group representative will look for a venue, maybe down school at one of the SS classes. He will communicate in the group that, okay, there's a free space in room, I've forgotten those, the names of those classes, like room 1C, for example, or others are written SSS block A, room something. So the rep is the one who is supposed to look for the TG groups or for the venues for the tutorial. No wonder they are not shown. So you'll be knowing, the rep will be telling you like, okay, we have a venue somewhere. Yeah, so that's on tutorials. I'm sure it's very clear. I received a lot of texts here. So now sometimes what happens is that, so beware that tutors do not find venues for you. They can't do that. So sometimes it can happen that your tutor is having another tutorial down school, and then you find a tutorial up school. So in this case, the tutor can tell you that, okay, come down school. That's where we'll have our tutorial from. Yeah. So, and then in that case, you go that side. Otherwise, it's the job of the TG rep. I've been a TG rep before, and it's going to be stressful. Like sometimes you find a venue, and then you find that there are other students who are supposed to learn from there, and they'll chase you from that room because them is showing on the timetable, but you, it's not. For you, you have to look for a class where there are no people, or if the other people are studying, you just tell them that we're going to use this class. Yeah. So that is on the tutorials. I think I won't go on to say much. Yeah, so that's how it is. You just look for a venue. It's not indicated, because if they were to put venues, then those who are in other programs, it would be clashing. Yeah, and then clinics. You're wondering, what are clinics? You guys, when do you go to the clinic? You go to the clinic when you are what? When you are sick. So at Mulungushi, we have what are called math clinics. So if you are sick in math, you go to a math clinic. Yeah, so let me make you understand. So labs are only in 3 courses. That is biology, chemistry, physics. So physics, chemistry, biology. This is why you have labs. But for math, since you don't have labs in math, you have clinics. So per lab, it's 3 hours. One lab is 3 hours. So the same with math clinics. Math clinics, it is 3 hours per session. You only have them once in a week. Yeah, same for the labs. We're going to talk about week 1, week 2. So now, for the clinics, it is the entire lecture group. Are you in group A? It is shown on the timetable. You have a math clinic, the entire group. There, you just go there. There will be some tutors, and if you are lucky, even lecturers will be there. Your lecturer for mathematics. You'll be answering questions, you ask them. So where you did not understand, it means you are kind of sick. Yeah, so this is just my way of explaining. That's how I was explaining also last year to the other guys. So if you are sick, you go there. If you are okay, you don't go. It's optional. For me, I regretted going there sometimes. Yeah, so use the math clinics when you are not so clear or you just want to learn. Yeah, so this is all. And then another concern which I just observed, wait. So people are saying like your lecture and your tutorial are clashing. That's probably a lie. It can't happen unless otherwise. Your lecture and your tutorial or a lab, these they can never tutorial. Spelling yavuta. Okay, so this is tutorial. So these they can never collide. Like the time you have to have a lecture and a tutorial, it can never happen. Not at MU. We'll look at the timetable. Maybe things have changed, so they really look into everything. Yeah, so these they can't clash. Like the time you're supposed to have a lab, you also have to have a tutorial. In those cases, you have to talk to the assistant dean. They make corrections. This is very, very, very rare. Yeah, so when it comes to preparing confusing things, Mulungushi is the best. Yeah, starting with the labs all the way to the exam. If they want to make your head spin, they will do that. So now let's look at the timetable. And don't be discouraged, I'm just joking around. Let's look at the timetable where we're having a lot of concerns and it's confusing. Yeah, I understand. I really understand. So let's get to it. Okay, so behold the mighty timetable. Yeah, so this is a very confusing thing sometimes. So now, I wish I would break it down to each and every one, like to each TG, but there are a lot of TGs. This video can go up to 2 hours. Yeah, so I didn't talk about the weeks. Okay, great. So here you can see we have week 1 and week 2. So what does it mean, like week 1, and what is really week 2? What is week 1, what is week 2? So basically, when you start learning, like for example this year's intake, this week you are starting to learn, it means you are in week 1, but labs never really happen like immediately lessons start. Yeah, they give you time to prepare your lab requirements, just get yourself familiar with everything. They also know that the timetable is something else. So in the first week of classes, you don't really have labs. Tutorials, they'll start. Lectures, they also start. But sometimes you find that lectures will not come. Tutors, or in the first week, if the list of tutors will come out, then you will start having tutorials. So now, I'm explaining on week 1 and week 2. So week 1, they're going to tell you like this week labs have started. It means that is week 1. When the labs start, that is week 1. So it can even happen that labs delay by 2 weeks. Like in the other week, that's when you start. The same time you start your labs, that will be your week 1. So now we have 2 weeks. It means where can I find the free space here? Okay, so we're explaining on weeks. So in week 1, so for example, in week 1 you have a physics lab. Okay. So in week 1 you have a physics lab. So now what you have to understand is that labs happen every 2 weeks. 2 weeks will pass for the labs to take place for you. So like what I mean here is this. Let's say in the first week we're going to talk about the timetable, don't worry. So just getting the general picture. In let's say next week, that's when labs will start. Yeah, they're actually starting next week. So next week when the labs start, that will be week 1. So like if you have a physics lab next week, it means you're in week 1. So for example, if you're in TG 10, it means you're having a lab in that week. So in the following week, in week 2, you are not going to have that physics lab. Are you getting it? So it means if on the time it's showing, if on the timetable is showing that your lab is in week 2, it means next week when the labs start, you are not going to go for the lab. Only those in week 1 are the ones who will be having the lab. For you, if you're in week 2, you wait for the week 1 to finish, and then in the other week, that's when you go for the lab. Those who did in week 1, they will not go. That's how it happens. So when those in week 2 do their lab, again it will start week 1. Those who are in TG10 will start, and also other TGs which are in week 1. And then when that week finish, so this was lab 1, so meaning you go to lab 2. So in the third week, again you start your week 1, and the other group do their lab. Meaning if you did your lab in the previous week, you want to do it again. It's done. Again in the other week, those in week 1, they do their labs. The following week, those in the other week, they do their labs. Like TG24 maybe, it's done. You go to the other lab. That's how these things go. So but if you are still not understanding this, there's no problem at all. I don't mind explaining it over and over, especially that you have specific TGs. Yeah, so you just inbox me there. I will gladly respond. Yeah, so that is on the weeks. I just wanted to explain on the weeks. So now we get back to this satanic thing, the timetable. So now it's a bad idea starting with looking at this thing. How do you start with this? You have to start with this. This is your initial timetable. So like this is the timetable for group A. So now in group A, this is their timetable. So now what you have to understand is, first you just, I can even encourage you to just look at the lectures only. Don't focus on the labs. Why are you focusing on things you won't have this week? Just focus on this alone. By the time you're starting labs, you even understand this whole thing. Yeah. So now, where do we get started? So like group A, this is your timetable. So group A, it is from TG1 up to TG10. So remember I said these things, they can never clash. So like group A, you have a mathematics lecture with Dr. Mukonda at the NLT, New Lecture Theatre, APSCO. So now, this lecture is from 07 to 09. You can never have a tutorial from 07 to 09. You can't have a tutorial in this time because you already have a lecture. Meaning your tutorials will be somewhere here. Are you getting it? You can't have a tutorial and a lab at the same time. No, it doesn't happen like that. So I'm giving you this exercise. If you want to understand your timetable easily, just copy this. So this is for group B. This is for group C. So if you don't have the individual timetables, you can just inbox me, but I'm sure you all have. So now, just copy this timetable in your book and send it to me. Yeah, you will be able to understand it better. So don't focus on this. Who told you to look at this? Oh, but for more queries, you contact the NS rep. Yeah. So on this line, you can just take a screenshot or just write it down. You contact him. Yeah, so don't focus on this for now. You are just confusing yourself. So do this. Just write this. Only this alone. You will not die. It's a very short timetable. Don't even copy the venue. You just write, okay, maths, chemistry, physics. Just copy the courses you'll be having. No need for the venues. So now, yeah, so I was explaining that you can't have, for like group A, you can't have a lab here. You can't even have a tutorial. If it happens like that, then it was just an error. It was just a mistake. So we can even confirm. Let's check group 1 to 10. What time are we going to find 7 to 9 from group 1 to 10? So we start. For like tutorials, you can see there's no group 1. There's no group 1 to 10 here. Monday, there's no group 1 to 10. Okay, so there's no group 1 to 10 here because around this time from 7 to 9 you'll be having a lecture, so you can't find group 1 to 10 in here. There's no way. So this is Monday, so you can't find group 1 to 10 there. It can't happen in here. So this box is showing from 8 to 9 those who will be having tutorials, TG31, TG40, TG blah blah blah. These are the ones who will be having their labs, not group 1 to 10. You can't have a lab here. So like, where are the labs? Labs are here 8 to 10. Are you seeing this? 8 to 10, you will not find TG1 to TG10. It can't happen. Tell me what is TG1 or TG2, TG3. It's starting at 11 going up because they know that you're having a lecture. Here, group A, you're having a lecture, so you can't have a lab. These things, they can't clash. Yeah, so Same with group B. We go to group B on Monday. Yeah, so let me just get you on Monday so that you have a good start. For group A on Monday, you are having only a lecture in the morning, that's all. And then you also have a lecture at 11 and a lecture at 15 to 17. These are the things you'll be having. Yeah, so when you have a lecture, you can't have a tutorial at the same time. But you can have a tutorial before, like maybe around 10, because at 11, that's when you have a lab. It can happen like that, not at the same time. Yeah, so for group A, those are the only things that you'll be doing. If you're in TG1 to TG10, on Monday, you are just having 3 lectures, no labs, no tutorials. No tutorials from in the morning in that time. Yeah, so except in some rare cases. So like for example, now let's look at this TG1 TG2. You have a tutorial at 13 to 14. This is not colliding with a, is it colliding with a lecture? Seems like it. So on Monday you have a lecture in chemistry from 11 to 13. So now, what about the tutorials? Tutorials, wait, we can be confused together. You have a lecture from 11 to 13. Are you seeing it? Yeah, so everyone in TG1 to 10, you have a lecture from 11 to 13. So now what about the tutorials? The tutorials, they are starting at 13, meaning after your class is at 11 going to 13. 13 hours when it's done, that's when you go to your tutorial. The tutorial is starting at 13. This is not the same time. It simply means you finish your lecture, then you start your other tutorial. Yeah, so they can't clash unless there's just a mistake. So on Monday, you just check what you're having. TG9 is from 14 to 15. You're having a biology tutorial. Yeah, so that's a biology tutorial. TG6, you are having a chemistry tutorial from 14 to 19. Yeah, so this is basically the timetable. So like for group A, just know that you're having lectures, 3 lectures, and then your tutorials can just be here. From 13 to 15, you can have a tutorial because you don't have anything else. Yeah. So group B on Monday, you are having a lecture at 11 to 13, meaning at any of these other times you can have a tutorial, you can also have a lab, but a lab will not happen next week or this week. You can't have a lab, only the other week. Yeah, so group B from TG11 to TG20, you can check, you won't have any tutorials here. Yeah, so group C, you have a class in the morning, meaning you can't have a tutorial. You have a physics class, you can't have a tutorial here. So and then you can see these blanks, meaning that's why you can have a tutorial, that's where you have your labs. Yeah, group D, you only have a 1 lecture from 13 to 15. I think there's nothing here. Yeah, so you can't have a tutorial. So these things, they do not clash. So now I know you still have questions like you are not able to really understand. So the task which I'm giving you, which is very simple, I want to help you make your timetable so that you are not so confused. So here the exercise I'm giving you, if you haven't understood this timetable, so don't worry about this. This is just showing you the labs and the tutorials all together with the lectures. So for now, just look at your specific timetables. Yeah, so just focus on your specific timetables and everything will be good. Group E, on Monday you have a class in the morning, meaning you can have a tutorial at some other time. The venue you have to look for yourself. You want a tutor to find for you. They are lazy. They won't find for you. So now this is the exercise I'm giving you. If you want me to help you understand, I can help each and every one of you. I'm just guiding you, and you'll be doing the work. You'll be doing the work on your own. So you can agree with me that this is not complicating. Just write down this, and then inbox me the picture of you writing it, and then you tell me that I'm in TG this, and then I'll tell you what next to do. We're going to fill in these gaps so that you can follow, and you won't even be confused. I remember I've mentioned that I was a TG rep. I actually made a timetable for my TG. I'm sure even other TG reps in your groups, they'll make for you timetables for your own tutorial group. Yeah, so I'll guide each and every one of you who is not clear. In here, you'll be having labs, week 1, week 2. Yeah, so this was just a rapid guide, very rapid. So I'll leave it here now. What's next is you to start inboxing me that, okay, I've copied the timetable, it's right here, and then I guide you. Yeah, so you can start sending your timetables, not this. This, you don't even need it. It's just there to guide us. Like, okay, I have a tutorial from this time to this time. Yeah, so for this one, I'll be using it to tell you that, okay, from this time to this time, write this. Yeah, and we'll be done, each and every one of you, within 5 minutes. I tell you to write this, you write. Just like that. So, we can get started. If you want help with making a simplified timetable, you just make it. Oh, by the way, I won't charge you. People at Mulungushi love money so much, so I can't charge you for this. That's no for me to guide you now. Yeah, so I'm just pointing you to the right direction, like, okay, do this and do that, so that you have your simplified timetable. No need to pay anything. So just write down that timetable I told you, your specific group timetable. If you don't have it, you can just let me know on that line. So I have group A, group B, group C, D, E. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you have more questions, comment on this video. I'll reply immediately. I reply faster to the comment on the video. Inbox, there will be a lot of texts. Yeah, so I might even delay. Otherwise, inbox me and feel free to just ask anything. And welcome to the only university abroad. So the journey starts now, and I'm wishing you all the very best.